Hello student, today in this video we will discuss class 12 biology chapter number 1. But before we start, let's see the unit wise mark for theory. Okay, so when you come to content, the first unit is reproduction, which will carry 14 marks. Next unit is genetics and evolution, 18 marks. Next unit is biology and human welfare, 14 mark. Next unit is biotechnology and its application, 10 mark. And last unit is uh, ecology and environment, which will carry 14 marks. So in total, theory exam will consist of 70 marks. Okay. So today in this video, we will discuss the first chapter for unit reproduction, that is reproduction in organism. So when you come to this lesson, in this topic, we will discuss about the types of reproduction, some methods of asexual reproduction, events of sexual reproduction, etc. So come to chapter number 1. Reproduction in organism. So before we come to the main topic, that is reproduction, first let us define what is lifespan. So lifespan, actually it is the duration from where to where, from birth to natural death. Popadina natural death lifespan kawi. And lifespan varies from organism to organism, and lifespan is not related with body size also. Habadi body size sarogadi lifespan sangani, body size pigana lifespan so inhabitability. And when an organism completes its lifespan, definitely the organism will die. There is no organism is immortal. Habadi no organism is going to live forever except single cell organism like amoeba. That is, single cell organism like amoeba are considered to be immortal, and the question is why they are considered to be immortal. So to get the answer, let us discuss how amoeba divides. Amoeba divides by binary fission, in which parent body will split to form daughter amoeba, and by doing so there is no dead remains of the parent amoeba. And as there is no dead remains of the parent amoeba, amoeba can be considered as immortal. Habadi amoeba na binary fission toroga divide toroga magi daughter amoeba form toroga matungda parent amoeba gi dead remains habu le horoiba dead remains le haudrabani na moise siba naidaba immortal and consider to be yarane. Okay, now next come to reproduction. So when we say reproduction, actually it is a life process, it is a biological process which is performed only by living organism. And in this process, what happen? An organism give rise to young ones similar to themselves. Haibadi reproduction hai taragadi akoigi living organism khatana perform toba process amaneba. Karma process chakana organism amana maga samanaba ama produce tobodo. That is, human being reproduce human being, dog reproduce dog. And this reproduction is essential life process because it helps in continuity of species as well as it helps in survival of species also. Haibadi ngasi lariba human generation sina makha tana reproduce todaba taragadi akoi sigakanda akoi se represent taunaba individual to lehoridine. Haibadi human being may become extinct. Akoi se extinct ohelo makha tana continue to hange have taragadi reproduction is essential. That means reproduction is essential for continuity of species. Next, come to types of reproduction. So when you come to types of reproduction, you know that there are two types of reproduction. One is asexual reproduction and the one is sexual reproduction. So let's see the difference between these two types of reproduction. Asexual. In asexual, during reproduction, we know that only one parent is involved. That is, it is uniparental. Whereas in case of sexual, two parents are involved. That is, it is biparental. Asexual. As only one parent is involved, gamete formation is not necessary. Whereas in sexual, as two parents are involved, formation of male and female gamete will be necessary. Asexual. Here, the offspring is formed from a single parent, so the offspring will be genetically similar to their parents. On the other side, the offspring is formed from two different genetically different parents, so definitely the offspring cannot be genetically similar to their parents. And last point, in case of asexual, variation is not created, whereas in sexual, variation is created, which is necessary for evolution. So this is the difference between sexual and asexual type of reproduction. Coming to point number 3, related to that, one question can be asked, and that question is, the offspring of asexually reproducing organism are known as clone. Why? Nasagi asexually reproduce fangib offspring no clone kawi kari ginon hambirane. Ari tadi sige answer the fano na bata noi kadom da katai, you should know what is a clone. Clone se ken komum sange. So clone, you can consider it as an organism which is produced from one cell of another organism, so that they are morphologically as well as genetically the same. Example hai kanda awandagi cell ama lothoga adugi cell duna new organism ama hengadene. Hariba new organism do aiga genetically morphologically same orane. Adu tadi that new organism can be known as clone. Okay, so coming to the point, we know that the offspring is genetically, in case of asexual reproduction, the offspring is genetically similar to their parents. That's why the offspring can be known as clone. Okay. Now, after this, we will come to asexual and sexual reproduction part by part. So first, let us discuss something about asexual reproduction. So first, come to method of asexual reproduction, and some common methods are fission, budding, sporulation, fragmentation, and vegetative propagation. Now let us discuss the method of asexual reproduction one by one. First one is fission. Actually, in this method, what happens? The parent body will divide to form two or more new individuals. So here, if only two new individuals is formed, we can call it binary fission, example amoeba. And if more than two new individuals are produced or formed, we call it multiple fission, example you can give plasmodium. But when you come to amoeba, this amoeba can also undergoes multiple fission. So let's see how amoeba undergoes multiple fission. What happened? During unfavorable condition, this amoeba secrete a three-layer covering known as cyst, and this phenomenon is known as encystation. And when favorable condition arise, this amoeba will divide by multiple fission to produce a number of small amoeba, which are known as pseudopodiospore. After this, the cyst wall will break down and it will release pseudopodiospore, which will develop into mature amoeba. Habati, we unfavorable condition da amoeba sina kadoke kanda three layer na semba covering of form tawe, which is known as cyst. Aduga favorable condition la akana kadoni amoeba sina multiple fission toroga ngasagi small amoeba mayam form toriba, which are known as pseudopodiospores. Aduga cyst wall se kaira kana kadoni pseudopodiospores se release overani, aduga moina they develop into what? Mature amoeba. Next come to budding. In this method, what happen? An outgrowth known as bud will arise from the parent body, which grows and detaches from the parent body to form new individual. Example you can give budding in yeast. But this budding is of two types. If the bud is formed inside the body, then this type is called internal budding. And if the bud is formed outside the body, we call it what? External budding. For external budding, you can give hydra. Now coming to internal budding, what happens? In this type, the bud which is formed inside the body is known as zamels, and these are produced by spores. Come to next method, that is sporulation. In this method, what happens? New individuals are produced by spore formation. Spore form toroga anobam produce. So here you should know what spore is. So when you come to spore, spores are nothing, they are asexual reproductive structure. Asexual represent over the mating pan of structure. And in our textbook, two example of spores are given. One is zoospore and one is conidia. So let's see the difference between these two spores. Okay. When you come to zoospore, they are flagellated, so they are motile, and these zoospore are produced by Chlamydomonas, a type of algae. On other side, Conidia, they are non-flagellated, so they are non-motile, and these are produced by a type of fungi known as penicillium. Okay. Again, this amoeba, which reproduce mainly by binary fission, can also undergo sporulation. That means they can also produce spore. So let's see how they undergo sporulation. So during unfavorable condition, what happens? Instead of forming a single cyst around amoeba, as in case of multiple fission, this amoeba produce a number of spores which are surrounded by the cyst wall. And when these spores are released, the spore will get protected from where? From unfavorable condition by the cyst wall. But when favorable condition arise, spore will germinate to give rise to mature amoeba. 하이브디 amoebasnane mogi unfavorable condition kadoge hakanda ngasagi amoeba mapanda cyst wall form to bod adimota spore mem prusoroga adugi spore singdo cyst wall na loina enclose to godene arungai amoebasna break up torokanda ngasai spore sing loina release ogani ko adu spore singdom kadoge hakanda unfavorable condition ni ngakhu pira thamane kanana ngai cyst wall sina adubu favorable condition lakan kadorni ngai cyst wall to break up torni spore to germinate torni aduga new amoeba form to ngami have. Okay, so come to next method, that is what? Fragmentation. So actually in this method, what happen? The parent organism will break up into smaller fragments, and each fragment can develop into new individual. And it takes place in simple multicellular organisms just like Spirogyra. And the process is somewhat similar to that of binary fission, but binary fission takes place in unicellular organism, whereas fragmentation takes place in multicellular organism. Now come to the last method of asexual reproduction, that is basically propagation. This basic propagation is mainly applicable in plant, and in this method what happens? A new plant can be produced from the vegetative part of the plant, and this vegetative part of the plant which can give rise to new plant are known as vegetative propagules. Haibadi ngasagi plants ki part to kama panakanda anopa pambi ama produce ng part to kena vegetative propagules ko. Now let's see some examples of vegetative propagules. Tuber, rhizome, bulbil, lip bud, offset, sucker, bulb, runner. These are all different types of vegetative propagules. Now we have completed discussing about different methods of asexual reproduction. So before we wind up for today, let us discuss one question related to water hyacinth. And the question is, why water hyacinth is known as Terra Bengal? Sigi water hyacinth when a Terra Bengal hai khangneba karigino habitu mi ngamse. So to know the answer, I will give you a brief description about water hyacinth. Okay. This water hyacinth is a free-floating aquatic plant which was introduced in Bengal because of its beautiful flower. But later on, it became too invasive and also used to absorb a lot of oxygen from the water bodies, which result in death of many aquatic organisms like fishes. When you come to other side, this fish is the main supplementary food for Bengal people. And because of this water hyacinth, there is scarcity of fishes in Bengal. And because of all this reason, this water hyacinth came to be known as Terror of Bengal. And that brings me to the end of today's class. And for sexual reproduction, we will discuss in next class, okay? And before that, let me give you a summary of what I have taught to you today. So today we have discussed about lifespan, reproduction, types of reproduction, and some methods of asexual reproduction. So stay home, stay safe, and thank you for your attention.